Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stephanie Stevens Show. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel. Today, I have an incredible lady that I actually met in the beauty supply store. Her name is Marilyn Wilson. She's over 70, and she's gonna talk to aging women about sex, men, and the joys of living with cats. So thank you guys so much for joining me here. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and tell everyone about Stephanie Stevens. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have the incredible Marilyn Wilson on my show. Hello, Marilyn. How are you?
I'm very well, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to my show.
I'm very glad to be here. It's my pleasure.
Wonderful. How are you today?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Yeah? Where are you from?
I am originally from Israel.
And how long have you been in Toronto?
Well, I've been in Toronto for over 50 years. Let me just say that. Yeah, long time.
So you have lots of stories.
Well, I suppose you could look at it that way. Yes, indeed, I do.
So do you ever visit Israel? Do you ever go back?
I haven't been back for a lot of years, but I was actually born in Israel, but I left there quite early on. And I was, for the most part, raised in Montreal.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Parlez-vous français?
Oh, oui, je parle français.
Oh. That's petit peu. That's all I know.
That's all right.
Now, the reason I asked you to be on my show, after seeing you in the beauty supply store, I just thought it would make a great show for women that were older that still enjoyed the beauty products, dressing up, being fabulous.
Most absolutely, yes.
And I thought you looked great. So
thank
why is it that you think it's important to stay looking great and just feeling great at this age?
Sure. I think it's a matter of whatever makes you feel good, whatever turns your crank, as the expression goes. It always turned my crank: fashion, beauty, cosmetics, all that stuff. I love it. I always have. Even when I was a kid, I still do. I enjoy being a girl, you know?
That's
and
it.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm on this side of the grass so far, you know? I may be old, but I'm not dead yet, so I still have interest in looking the best I can. I try to do the best I can do in every aspect of life. Let's put it that way.
Now,
and fashion is a big part of it. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. When you go into a beauty supply store and you see all the wigs, like sometimes when I go in, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know which wig to choose. How do you decide what you're feeling?
Well, for the most part, given my experience with it, I try to look for things, first of all, that are on sale. It's a big deal. Living on pension, etc., it's a big deal. Also, I try to look at stuff that I think I may be able to get away with. You know, I can wear short, I can wear long, I can wear curly, I can wear straight, but it has to be the right styles. Okay, so I do have to be a little bit selective in what I pick, what I choose. If I'm with somebody, if I bring somebody with me, I always ask them what do they think. You know, they may say, "Oh, no, it's really not for you." You know, that
so
kind of
now, when you're deciding to dress and to dress up, what kind of makeup do you think older women should actually look for? Do you think they should wear heavy makeup or light makeup, or just overall what they see on TV?
Well, I think really, again, what governs me is what's worked for me for all of my life, all right? I pretty well wear the same, I guess, medium foundation that I did when I was a teenager, all right? Same thing with eyeshadows, and, yeah, I pretty well pick things that are, that I've used for like 1,000 years, so to speak. Yeah, it's really what I do.
So you know, it's funny, when I go into the beauty supply stores or any store that sells fabulous things that to make you feel more like a woman or just make you feel pretty, I'm always amazed at how there's so many products that are marketed towards us to make us look good and make it so hard to choose. But I like the fact that there is a place that we can go and get things that make us feel special, no matter what age we are, because makeup is ageless.
Pardon me, I agree with you, Stephanie. And again, that's what I basically try to govern myself with, is what I feel comfortable in choosing for myself. I try to trendy. Well, not so much trendy, really. From the old school, you know, what has always worked for me, I tend to go for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get your nails done too?
Yes, that I do. Yes, I do.
I usually wear my nails, but not today.
Yeah, that I do.
Oh wow, they're great.
Thank you.
And what color is that?
Well, that's basically an Easter purple. Various shades
Easter
of
purple.
purples, yes.
Yeah, because we're almost close to Easter now.
We are
that
indeed.
looks good.
We are indeed.
Now, as I can see, you like lots of jewelry.
I do.
That makes you feel like a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful scarf.
Thank you.
So now, are you married?
No, I'm not. No, not the stage of the game. No.
Were you married?
I was when I was very young, yes.
And how was that?
That was basically for the most part okay. I mean, you know, when you're like 18 or 19, what are you looking for? You're looking for a guy who's good looking, who has a car, who's good in bed.
Good in bed. That's
you meet that criteria, that's okay. God forbid we should look at people who may have had money or a job. I mean, that was, you know, all secondary too.
Sex. Now, is it a certain kind of man that you look for when back in the days when you were looking for just maybe to just hook up or just to sort of, you know, be with a man, just to be interested? What kind of man did you like?
Well, again, yeah, I probably wasn't as selective as I should have been. Obviously, a man who was tall, you know, because I'm fairly tall.
Tall, good looking.
Yes, good looking, of course. I tended to gravitate towards more men who were darker, meaning darker hair, even darker skin. That was fine too. Blonde wasn't really my thing when I was young. Okay.
So are young men attracted to you? Or do young men try to hit on you to this day?
Much to my surprise or horror, depends on which way you want to look at it. Yes, they do. Yeah, no, really, it knocks me out. They actually stop me in the middle of the street and say, "Can I say something to you?" Oh boy. Okay, I don't know what you're gonna say.
Now, I mean, seriously, how would
seriously.
you?
I'm being serious.
Oh, serious? Oh,
my God. I'm being dead serious. Yes.
So they don't want to ask you out. They just want sex.
I hope not. I've got the foggiest notion what they want. They just say, "Can I say something to you?" And I'll say, "Okay." I'll say, "You have, you know, nice skin, nice hair." I say, "Thank you very much." And I usually try to get going before much else happens.
Now, when did you start wearing makeup? When?
Oh, I believe, Stephanie, I must have been about 12 years old, as far as my memory banks go.
So you used to play in your mother's makeup, or you had your own makeup?
Both, I think. Both, yeah.
So, now, when have you always worn wigs? Have you always worn wigs?
No, I haven't. I think the first facsimile to a wig I ever wore was in my early 20s. I had a thing called a fall, which was a part wig, which you had some of your own bangs showing, and just sort of sat here on the head, and then came down as a fall. Hence the name, yeah.
So, do you think men treat you differently when you have natural hair or wigs? Do they treat you different if you wear a wig or if you just have? Have you noticed any difference?
No, I haven't. To be honest with you, no.
So you would say to older women, feel free, try wigs on,
Absolutely.
To, you know.
Well, whatever makes you happy, I think whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you confident, I think is a big part of it. You know,
because you know, coming from the black community,
yes,
we know my sister, my mother, they all wore wigs and weaves and stuff like that, and it never was an issue for my father.
Yes,
but for some reason, the young girls always try to make their weaves, even today, try to look as realistic as possible. And now there's the lace front wigs that make it look more realistic, which is a good thing, because it shows that at least now people don't have to be concerned about a wig actually looking like a wig. It looks more natural, which we're good about that. Now you say that you live with cats.
I do indeed.
How many cats do you have?
I have 3 now.
What's their names?
My oldest one is Bethany, and my youngest one is Sparrow, and my only boy right in the middle is Corrigan.
Oh, Corrigan! Oh, yes. That's a nice name.
Yeah.
Now, when did you get the cats? What was your first cat?
Oh boy, my first cat was when I was about, currently or when I was a child?
No, now. They're
Now?
not the ones you have now.
The first one I guess was Bethany. She's the oldest. She's like 19.
Mm-hmm.
Or Bright Wood, whichever, both, yeah. And then Sparrow is 8 and Corrigan is 10.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the personalities of your cats?
Oh, extremely different. Bethany is a real fussy, but can hold her own and does what she wants to do and rules the roost, even though she's tiny, very tiny. Corrigan is about the size of the Titanic. He's my only boy. Tuxedo cat, which is black and white, and a real mama's boy. Oh, just lives for me. That's it. That's the only thing in his universe is me, as far as I can make out, as far as anybody can make out. Sparrow is another Titanic, meaning like they're big girls and boys. She's fairly independent. She was abused quite a bit, so she can be fairly independent. But she's affectionate with me, and that's fine.
Okay. So, having 3 cats.
Yeah.
Now, do you live with a man now?
Not the present time. No, I don't.
Okay. So
No.
it's just you and your 3 cats.
It is indeed.
So, are you looking to date again, or are you dating anyone right now?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can ever close the door on anything. I guess that's my philosophy in life with anything, Stephanie, okay? I'm not per se looking, although, like I say, I wouldn't, as the old expression goes, throw a mother bed for eating crackers, Whatever comes my way, comes my way,
Okay.
Now, yeah.
Do you have any kids?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not. I spent most of my life as a social worker, Stephanie, raising everybody else's kids, to be quite candid with you, yes.
So, I just want to ask one personal question in a
Yes, of
sense.
course.
Are you lonely? Like, what are the cats? Sometimes when people have animals,
Yes.
it makes up for them not having either a husband or a lover or a boyfriend or girlfriend around.
Geez, I hope not.
Oh.
I mean, to me, a cat is a cat, and I love them dearly. They are part of my family, but I don't have any false illusions about Corrigan being a man, or no, I hope I never do, like in the world of. Am I lonely? I think we all have our moments, but for the most part, I'm pretty, I'm glad to be alive, Stephanie, to tell you the truth. I'm glad to be fairly independent. I can still, for the most part, do my groceries on my own, clean my own bathtub, that kind of thing.
This is important.
So I think it's important, and independence is very important for me. And I'm still working the odd time, so I'm glad about that. I still keep my hand in, and yeah.
Wow, inspiration. An inspiration. Over 70 and still working.
Yes.
And you're working on your terms.
On my terms, on a job that I love and that I've always loved.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I've always loved.
Helping people is really, a lot of people don't understand that when some people are just good-hearted and they don't mind helping people because it's just their nature.
Yes.
And just listening to you, I can tell that it's honesty and truth. So I'm sure the impact that you've had on a lot of your clients or lives have been positive.
I hope so. That's the feedback I get when I used to run little group homes for little runaway teenagers, etc., or legitimately teenagers on the street, whichever way you want to look at it. A lot of times, if we had to discharge somebody at 3 a.m, they'd say, "Well, we understand why you're doing it, miss. We know you still care." So yes, I have to ask you to leave because you're carrying a gun. So of course you must go. I got 17 other kids here, so you must go, and they were fine with that. So I think I'm just picking up on what you're saying about the trust, and that was always there. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing that you
I think it is.
That you have a positive outlook, because sometimes people can be concerning in a sense. I mean, in the business, in the social work business, you find a lot of kids that are lost or people that are lost
of course.
in the system, and it's great to see people like yourself that take a real interest in your job and you care about what you do.
I do certainly care, but we're all human beings, Stephanie. We're all human beings. To me, that's the bottom line. We're all human beings. And sometimes a client will say, "Why do you call me sir?" I said, "Because you're a man. You're a male, and you're, as far as I know, okay, and you're a human being, right?" And they look at me and say, "Yeah."
Respect.
You don't have to be over 85 to be ready to call you sir,
Can another question I'd like to ask you, do you miss the company of a man or having a husband? Do you miss that?
Not terribly in that sense. No, I don't. Because I still have exposure to men in my life. Okay, perhaps that's part of it. Okay, I don't know.
Now,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of women today, whether they're single or they're widowed, they have talked to me in the past about the fact that they miss the company of men, but
Pardon me.
they're weary of the way men are today, because either the men that are interested in their either after their money, or just not good for them.
Yes, I understand
Because as we get older and we get
I
settled in
understand that,
our
yeah.
ways, and sometimes our needs and wants takes us out of our comfort zone.
This is true.
Now, what's your advice to women that are comfortable with themselves, meaning their job, the way they are at home, but yet still open to a relationship?
As my dear father used to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Which is true.
If it works for you, if you're happy in it, you don't have to meet anybody else's expectations or aspire to anything other than what your own aspirations are. That's why I've always looked at life. I was taught that by my parents, who are wonderful people.
So what do you think make men and women, when there's all of a sudden, you know, a lot of times men and women they say they're in a happy relationship, and then all of a sudden, what do you think make men and women fall out of love? Because sometimes
I guess that's the age-old answer. Somebody could solve that, Stephanie. I don't really know that I have an answer for that per se. I would say that things change. You can see people change as they grow older. They want different things. They aspire to different things, and perhaps what originally worked for them, 40 years prior doesn't work for them now. As far as actually falling out of love, yes, maybe they met somebody else. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they just, life happens. People change. I think that's what it is. Change is always in the cards. We can never guarantee anything, as far as I'm concerned. Wish we could, having said that, but we can't. And wherever life takes us, it takes us.
So, let's say, do you have any brothers and sisters?
No, I don't. Not that I'm aware of.
Oh.
I say not that I'm aware of because I was adopted.
Oh, okay.
I was adopted, so not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay. Now, just a few more questions
Yeah, of course.
for
That's
you.
fine. That's fine.
What if you were to look for a man today? What sort of man would you be interested in? What kind of man would interest you?
I'd be interested in somebody who was honest, somebody who was actually a human being, or like we say in Jewish, a mensch, which means a real person. A real, genuine person. Has those important qualities, honesty, integrity, comes with good character. Certainly an animal lover, in my case, certainly that has to be. Somebody who would respect me for what I am. I guess the only other thing I would say, that's some of the important things. Other things that would be like somebody, quite frankly, I'd like somebody who has a car, somebody for companionship, that would be nice. Somebody to have dinner with occasionally would be nice. Somebody to drive me to the grocery store would be nice.
Now, when you say that you were working in social work,
yes,
and mostly with men,
yes,
did any of these men come on to you?
Oh, yes.
Make propositions to you?
Oh, yes.
And how did you deal with that in a professional sense?
In some ways, it was quite easy, Stephanie, because you had the rule of the land, meaning whatever agency you're representing at that point. That was part of it. Okay, so it's easy to turn and say, "Look, I'm sorry, it's against company policy." But to take you a step further, Joe, John, whichever. No, this would not be appropriate for me to, overlap and from a professional capacity with you into a personal relationship.
Wonderful. When I thought about this show, I thought, what questions should I ask her? What should we talk about? And what is important? And I thought to myself, what was important is the fact that we need to understand that older people do still have a desire to make love,
Most assuredly.
to be loved,
Most assuredly.
and to feel special and look pretty. And as women, that is something that's very important in our lives.
It is
Now,
indeed.
on my final thoughts.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, it's
onto
my
show.
pleasure. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Yeah. So, what would be your advice for women? Can you sum it up for us to say about beauty, men, and just the fact of aging and feeling special? Just give us a little quick rundown of advice in those. Let's start with the beauty.
Okay, again, I have to say, whatever makes you happy, whatever turns your crank, as I said at the beginning of the show, whatever does it for you, that's important. I don't believe in life you can present to others if you don't feel good about yourself. That's just my opinion, of course. Like, for example, I'm walking in this store, in this wig store, and you approach me. Okay? So obviously I'm approachable. I think that's important.
Yes.
You see? So you have to, I could turn on giving you a look like, you know, or received you, which I did. I received you, okay? So I think that's important. It's how you present in life, which makes you approachable, okay? And people, I think, can see that in your demeanor. And again, I'm trying to sum up. I haven't forgotten your original question. But really, all I can say again is whatever makes you happy, whatever does it for you. Yeah, I think that's important. Young, old, whatever.
And I think it's important for women to dress up, and they don't need to make excuses for wanting to feel and look beautiful.
Not at all. Not at all.
So I'm gonna just give you my final thoughts.
Okay,
because
sure.
I wrote a little bit about
All right,
this.
sure. Okay.
My final thoughts is to see older people still living and thriving in a positive manner, and not giving up, and being active, keeping their mind and body working. So thank you, Marilyn, for sharing your story with us.
My
pleasure. You're an inspiration. And you know what? Let's go shopping.
There's a plan. Never turn that down. Never turn that down. No.
So thank you so much for being on my show. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on the Stephanie Stevens Show.
You.
This is Marilyn Wilson. Today we talked about men, sex, aging, and the fact of just feeling beautiful and fabulous over 70. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Marilyn, for having my show.
My
that
pleasure.
was great.
My pleasure. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So
My
much.
pleasure. My pleasure. It was fun.
Thank you.